Oh, yeah. Nothing better than Big Chungus. He's a real good guy.
Well, hello, and welcome back to an episode of Dead Left Paul Reels Paul. I just went ahead and bought 10,000 Sprinter vans.
Gotta go ahead and get me my brand new cup of Joe, which is a cup that is filled with Joe.
You know what was weird? I was like coming out here to like look for this location to like record at. And then this dude in the freaking minivan pulls up. And like I'm sitting here, I'm like just ready to go. I'm just ready to pull out my freaking iPhone. Just ready to pull out my freaking tripod. And then out of nowhere, this dude just pulls up and the goddamn motherfucking big old bush on and pulled to that way. So he was only about maybe 20 feet away. And I'm just like, I get out of my truck and I'm just like looking at him. And then he's like, you know, like going into his van and like doing that and everything like that. And then like I'm staring at him and I'm waiting for him to realize that I'm looking at him. But the whole time that I'm looking at him, he didn't even realize I was there. But that's just fine. That's nothing whatsoever. But the reason why I would go ahead and buy 10,000 Sprinter vans is no reason whatsoever for, at least right now. Say if I had Mr. Beast money, I probably would go ahead and only buy 3. If you don't know already, my name is Paul Frazier and I live out of the back of my truck. This was a very conscious decision to go ahead and live in the back of my truck. But I was just like thinking of like if there was any other vehicle that I would live inside of, like live in 24 hours, like 365 days a year, it would probably be a Sprinter van. Now, the reason why I would need 3, like if I had like an unlimited amount of money. In case if you don't know, these Sprinter vans are approximately about $100,000. So they're like about $100,000 if you were going to go ahead and like live inside of them. And I would have one Sprinter van that is like for like a very up class, high classy place, like where I can drive like the Sprinter van into like the freaking Caesar Palace like area, and like, you know, it fit in very nice. And then I would have like a secondary one that is like, you know, for off-road and like going into like the Sahara Desert. And then the third one would just be like kind of like a junker, you know, like, you know, to where I can just like ram it into the side of the wall and not even have to worry about it. If I get a scratch or a dent, like I don't even have to like worry about it. The third one would probably just be, you know, kind of a bumper cart.
I see some literal shoes on that there electrical pole, and I don't know how I feel about it.
You could, in theory, reasonably ask me why the hell would I get rid of my perfectly good truck in the first place? For a Sprinter van, all things. And the reason is because I can't bring myself to modify such a beautiful truck, and I kind of sort of want a vehicle that I could personally modify. You know, if I wanted to go and buy some expensive spray paint and sandpaper and this and that and paint my own vehicle different colors, like how I do my hair on like a vehicle, or if I dent it or if I scratch it, have a vehicle that like I really don't care. But with like, even like when I do pay off this truck, there's like, at least right now, there's no possible way that I could bring myself to modify such a beautiful vehicle. But even with that said, all my vehicle is a modification. I mean, I literally went out of my way to spend $2,100 on this camper shell, $1,700 on a power box, like freaking $23 or whatever it is for this fan to keep me cool during this July and the June and like, you know, everything like that. And everything else is like sort of a modification. I even have like a light up in there. I have like a freaking, like a battery powered light that I can turn on and turn off and everything like that. It's all a modification, but when it comes to like a full modification, just like, you know, just drilling a hole inside of it, or like doing this, or like doing like whatever I want to do with it, like I simply can't, like, I don't know, it's just like, it's something wrong with my brain, because it's just such a beautiful truck. It's just like, I couldn't just, you know, drop $100 and just start sandpapering the side of it and then like color it gold or some shit like that. But if I had like a $9,000 vehicle or something like that, I could most definitely do that. I can just go ahead and sand it down and then go down to Home Depot, spend like a $10 can of spray paint, and then just go ahead and spray paint my own vehicle. But like with this truck, there's no possible way that I could like bring myself to do that. I don't know, maybe there technically is like a possible way for me to like go ahead and do that. But the thing is, like, the vehicle that I had prior to this was a $6,000, well, actually, no, technically it was 2020 Dodge Challenger, but I went ahead and traded it in very, very quickly for the truck. But before that, it was a 2007 Kia Spectra 5 that I spent $6,000 for. But the last vehicle that I had that was attached to my credit score was a 2015 Ford Fusion. And that car got repossessed. That car got repossessed. It got repossessed, and that was on my credit score. And then the next vehicle that I bought that is current now is my truck that is attached to my credit score. So what I really want to do with this truck is pay off the truck. Pay off the truck in its entirety. Therefore, on my credit score, it will show that I made every single monthly payment on my truck, and I fully paid off the truck, and then I owned the truck. So on my credit score, when I go to buy a house, it doesn't look like I'm just jumping around to this vehicle and that vehicle, doing this and that, and not being fully committed to something. That's what credit wants to see you doing, is being committed to something. Can you pay me back? So I do really want to pay off this truck. I want to sell this truck and then like move on to something different, simply because my credit past history hasn't been that perfect. Who knows? Maybe I might just pay off this vehicle, get the title in hand, and just keep it forever, like everybody wants me to do. I speak to a lot of grown men in their 40s in my job, and all of them just, no, just go ahead and keep your truck. One thing that you do have to realize is that, excluding my Dodge Challenger, the 2020 Dodge Challenger that I had, I've already had 9 vehicles. I've already been through 9 different vehicles, and I've been through, I think, like 4 or 5 different jobs. So my personality type is like consistent change. My life is just like a consistent change. It's always changing. So the only thing that I've ever been consistent with more than like 7 years is YouTube. That's the only thing that I've ever been consistent with. Sadly, more than 7 years, the only thing that I've ever been consistent with in my entire life has been YouTube, and that's like, I'm not proud of that at all. Like, I really wish that at the age of 18 I just found the most perfect job. Honestly, I wish that I just finished college and I was gonna be a welder and I was gonna weld stuff, and I was just gonna weld stuff, and then I just bought a house and I just did the same shit for the rest of my life, and just have not been through so much. But that's not reality. That's not Paul Frazier's life. That's not my life. So things are continuing to change, and I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know if that's a bad thing. The point is that it is a 100% solid fact